third game between Delaware State and South Carolina State on this weekend. And it went for a bunt foul, strike one, to Maria Charlie, who swings and fouls this one out of play. Charlie, the leadoff hitter today for South Carolina State, as she was yesterday in both games. On the mound for Delaware State in this game is the pitcher Kristen White, who pitched to Gem yesterday, 10 strikeouts, allowed only 2 hits in a 2-0 victory. Didn't have a lot of run support, didn't need it. Was not in any trouble at any point in the game. It's pitching for a ball low outside. It's a 1-2 count now to Charlie. Gary Lang along with you on this day. Charlie, well hit to center field. It's going to be a real tough day for the outfielders because we have plenty of wind blowing here at Delaware State University. But the center fielder was able to go and play it beautifully and not a problem. So it's 1 out, and it will be Lashea Morlew coming to the plate. Rain in the forecast sometime this afternoon. We already had some sprinkles in the area. There's one right down the middle for a strike. So they're trying to get this one in as much as possible before the potential rain that was expected to start about now. Wind blowing from right field to center. There's a bunt. First baseman comes in, plays it, throws to the second baseman covering, and it is 2 out. .51 degrees right now, and the wind chill of 36 degrees on this April 18th. As Dallas Hill steps in. Third batter of the inning, strike one. Strong wind bringing in the wind chill. There's swing and fouled back off the screen. The wind at 18 miles per hour out of the west-northwest. Gusts up to 32 have been recorded. Outside, Hill thought about it, but it went too far outside. Brings the count to 1-2. So as I said earlier, on that fly ball to center field, those outfielders might have fun playing the balls today with gusting winds. Pop-ups in the infield could be tricky also. Mentioned the date earlier of April 18th. Yes, I do know. It is April 19th. Happy birthday to my oldest son. Still kind of in a mindset from yesterday when we had the doubleheader here, and it was the 18th then. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. This one out of play. Delaware State comes into today on a 12-game winning streak and in second place in the MEAC standings. They took that over with the second win yesterday over South Carolina State. First win tied them for second, and then the second game, the 5-0 win, put the Hornets in front. Pop foul, and the catcher gets over and pulls it in for the out. So 3 up, 3 down in this first inning as the Delaware State pitcher starts the way she did yesterday, dominating in pitching. Kristen White up 1-2-3 in the first. No score as we go to the bottom of the first on the Hornets Television Network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAT tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.
Hornets come to the plate. Destiny Mitchell, who had a great day yesterday, stole a bunch of bases, scored a few times. To lead off for Delaware State, takes the first pitch outside for a ball. The speedy Mitchell gave the Bulldogs real trouble yesterday every time she got on base, and it seemed like she got on base a lot. She wants to start it off here. Umpire called a strike on Mitchell. Well, the first pitch was called a ball. Now the umpire talking to the South Carolina State dugout. And we're trying to make heads and tails of what the issue is. He's pointing at the pitcher, and I'm wondering if he called a balk.
Blue. Never mind. Thank you.
All right, count is 1-0, and we're ready to begin again as Mitchell stands in.
Todd.
Pitch too low. Now the scoreboard telling us it is ball 3. So a ball was called on the pitcher. And it brings up a 3-0 count to Mitchell. Mitchell shows bunt. Pitch is outside, ball 4, and Mitchell gets the free pass and gets on board. And that is not where South Carolina State wants her. She will now worry that pitcher the whole time. Zayna Harris, the pitcher for South Carolina State today, has pitched 18 innings on the season. She's allowed 13 hits, 10 runs, with an ERA of 3.11. Pitch a little inside and low. Throw down to first, trying to catch Mitchell off base. She falls down, manages to keep a hand on the base. Had to hustle back to the base as the catcher whipped a throw down there. Of those 10 runs allowed by Harris, 8 of them earned. She has given up 18 base on balls this season, now 19, with the leadoff walk to Mitchell. Mitchell fakes a run towards second as Carly Kane at the plate takes a strike. 1-1 count. Harris has given up 1 home run on the season. That one in the dirt, catcher trying to find it as Mitchell goes to second base. So you score that one in your mind. Was that a wild pitch or a passed ball? Ball in the dirt, tough on the catcher. So now the Hornets have a runner in scoring position, and Miana Lopez in the same spot she was in the first inning of the first game yesterday, with Mitchell on board, and Lopez put one out of its left field. This time she bunts. First baseman tries to field it, bobbled it for a moment, but still picked it up and managed to throw to second for the out. The sacrifice on that moves Mitchell to third base, and the Hornets have runner on base and in scoring position with just one out.
Number 13, Miana Lopez Delgado.
That's Carly Kane completing the at-bat there. Now it's Lopez to stand in. So one out. She bunts. The squeeze at the plate, and Mitchell is safe. The ball gets past the catcher. Lopez hustling into second base as the rain begins here. Lopez with a single RBI and takes second on the fielder's choice to go to home plate. So the Hornets put a run on the board here in the first inning. Lopez gets the RBI and stands on second base. The rain that was in the forecast has started here. Meanwhile, Delaware State head coach Daniel Stockdale with a short conference with the home plate umpire.
1 for 13. I got it. Thank you.
Lopez is going to have a pinch runner,
Coming in a run.
and the Hornets will send in Alana Yancey to run. Lopez, a good hitter, but not exactly the fastest runner.
Kaylani Rodriguez.
So Kaylani Rodriguez, the designated player in the 4 spot in the batting order, steps up. 1 down, 1 run in, and a runner in scoring position on second base. And a nice bunt that takes a reverse spin as it hits the ground. Throw was low. Play at the plate. First baseman, they get the double play, an unusual double play. This time it is the pitcher to first base for the out, and then at the plate, the 3-2 put out. So the Hornets finish up that inning, only getting 1 run on the 3-2 double, the 1-3 and 3-2 double play. Delaware State leading after 1-0 on the Hornets Television Network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com.
Starting the second inning here, South Carolina State's Michaela Chisholm at the plate. First pitch in. Ball.
This is
That one a little bit outside and high for ball 2 to Chisholm.
You have it right now. It's 1-1 now. 1-1. Correct.
Correcting the scoreboard here. And it's a 1-1 count. The first pitch apparently was a strike. This bunt, third baseman in, grabs it, throws to first, bouncing throw, got there, didn't get there in time. First base umpire right there and says Chisholm beat it out.
That's an error.
The hesitancy there on the throw,
It's not on the thrower. It's on Miana.
because that ball bounced in the dirt.
No, I think she
Now,
got there 'cause
The Hornets are going to dispute that call at first.
So it's a bunt. So it's a 1 BBU.
Because
Head coach Stockdale, down talking to the first base umpire, wants to know how he could have made that call. It was a bang-bang play. He thought they had beaten it by a half step, the throw to first base, but apparently now the umpires will get together and talk this one over. Starting pitcher for Delaware State, Kristen White, pitched the first game yesterday. As I mentioned, 10 strikeouts, allowed just 2 hits in that 2-0 shutout. For her 6th win of the season, she could hit 500 with a win here this afternoon. And the umpires have conferred, and they come out and say the runner was safe at first. That'll bring up Eleni Yarnell, left-handed batter, the second baseman.
Eleni Yarel.
Hornets second baseman and the third baseman in, expecting bunt, and it's bunted foul.
Somebody take a picture. Did somebody take a picture of me? I need that. I'll do it. Who will forgive that?
A 1 count here with a runner on first, none down. Call for the pitch out. They almost caught the runner off base as she started towards second, and on the pitch out, the catcher Zailing Harding called for it, hesitated before throwing to first. I think the first baseman had to get back into position because she had come in expecting the bunt, and that allowed the runner, Chisholm, to get back to first safely. There's a bunt foul down the third baseline to make it a 1-2 count on Yarnell. Trying to advance Chisholm to second. So now the batter has to be careful. If she does bunt, it has to go fair. Yarnell showing bunt. High for ball 2. The slight drizzle we mentioned a moment ago has ended. There's still a couple of drops falling, but not as hard as it was for about a minute. We'll try to get this game in completely here today, and it's important in the standings of the MEAC as we're a short distance away from the MEAC tournament. And that ball punched into left field for a base hit, which will advance Chisholm to second. She'll hold there. Yarnell at first. Kari Munyon, the third batter in the inning. So these 2 hits this inning equal the number that pitcher White gave up yesterday. So now the infield gets together, determining how they are going to progress here with 2 on and none out in the second inning.
Is that a new batter? Who is that, Dallas?
No, this is 34. Well, I don't know if she was originally in the lineup.
No, she is. But what was his record?
Munyon, the right-handed batter, looks for the pitch. Bunt. Picked up by the first baseman. And no play anywhere. A beautiful bunt just a couple of feet in front of the catcher, and nobody could make a play. The runner on second, Chisholm, got there quickly. No throw to second, and it was too late to throw to first base to try to get Munyon. So now with none out, bases loaded, and Kristen White in a bit of a jam here in the second inning. 3 base hits in a row for the Bulldogs. Swing and a foul tip strike. Ariana Bonilla trying to even this game up here as she has bases loaded. And nowhere to put anybody, so White has to bring the ball in. Fastball, swing and a miss. It's an 0-2 count to Bonilla. White would like to put her down quickly here and get that first out. White calls for time. First base coach wants to talk to White here on the 0-2 count, figuring out the strategy. Bases loaded. Look for a suicide squeeze bunt, but with 2 out or 2 strikes. That could be a risky endeavor. Again, it has to be fair. If it goes foul, that counts as strike 3. So Bonilla has gotten her instructions from the first base coach, and she's ready for the 0-2 pitch. Fouled off to stay alive. The number 7 hitter in the order today, Bonilla. Regular season coming to a conclusion next weekend, as Delaware State will visit the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. First, they want to finish here today. A little bit high, a swing and a miss, and a strikeout on Bonilla, and that was a big strikeout to get the first out.
Number 7, Alyssa Stanford.
Alyssa Stanford will come in to bat. The number 8 hitter in the order. She'll try to get that run in. First pitch comes in. It is a strike. Just a little bit high, but right across the plate. Count is 0-1. You can hear the wind here this afternoon. Again, blowing from right to center. The play at the plate. Force play there, gets 1. And everybody else advances. The batter was safe at first, but they get the out at home plate. And that was a 3-2 put out. The first baseman coming in to cover. And on the fielder's choice, bases remain loaded, but there are 2 down. Give the RBI to Stanford. And now with 2 out, Lenasia Sanders at the plate. Swinging and tipped that one foul. For strike 1.
Number 3, Lenasia Sanders.
Bottom of the order for South Carolina State. They had 3 base hits in a row to load up the bases, then a fielder's choice, or a strikeout, and then the fielder's choice with the play at the plate. Oh, 0-2 pitch from White. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And I'm going to correct the scoring on that put out at the plate on Chisholm. The second baseman was in and got that bunt. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and White gets out of a jam here in this inning, had bases loaded and none out, and managed to retire the next 3 batters. So the Hornets hold on to the lead after an inning and a half of play. It's Delaware State 1, South Carolina State 0 on the Hornets Television Network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAT tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.
First pitch into Nevaeh Terrell. The Hornets sending the 5, 6, and 7 hitters up to start this bottom of the second. Terrell's first pitch was outside for a ball. Not only did you see some great pitching there by Kristen White to get out of that bases-loaded jam with none out in the second inning, but good fielding by Delaware State, getting the force play at the plate. Pitch comes in low, ball 2. Zayna Harris pitching for South Carolina State. 2-2 record on the season, trying to get her third win. That pitch outside, ball 3. So now Terrell facing a 3-0 count. Normally a take situation. Will force Harris to put something down the middle. She bunts it. Harris picks it up, throws to first for the out. Score that one 1-3. Pitcher to first base for the first out of the inning. That had to be right down the middle to be able to go ahead and bunt on 3-0. She did so, but got a little bit more behind it, and it went right out to the pitcher. Chandler Martin to try here now.
Number 40,
The first baseman, Martin. Martin swings and fouls one off. That one came inside a little bit. Jammed her slightly. Make it an 0-1 count. Catcher apparently didn't like the ball that the umpire gave her after it hit the fence backstop. That one outside. Evens up the count at 1-1. A little lull there in the wind, and you can hear it pick up. Watching the flags out. They only have one flag out today in center field. Normally they had flags out yesterday representing all the teams in the conference, but with this kind of wind, they just have the American flag straight away center. Pitch taken for a ball is a 2-1 count to Martin. That one high outside to make it 3-1. Outfielders playing straight away and really have to be on their toes today with the gusting winds if there's a fly ball. And you can see from our center field camera what the wind is doing to the platform, shaking it up a little bit. Fouled off first base side to bring the count to 3-2. And Harris delivers. Fouled off, right side out of play. Count stays at 3-2. Martin trying to get something solid on one. She does. drops it behind the second baseman. Throw to first. Safe is the call at first.
That was the same play.
Second baseman got over there into the outfield grass, picked it up, threw to first, but unable to get it there in time, according to that first base umpire. And so the Hornets get the base hit.
Yeah, because even though she felt it, it wasn't there.
So a runner on first, one down for Delaware State, Zaylen Harding. And now South Carolina State's coach wants to talk about that play at first base also. Mentioned Delaware State coming in here on a 12-game win streak. Started the series here yesterday, 10 in a row. Then they got the doubleheader 2-game win yesterday. That streak started back earlier this month. Includes sweeps of Morgan State, 3 games, Chestnut Hill 2, 3 against North Carolina Central, and then a series against Lincoln. Now they go for the sweep today against South Carolina State. The umpires conferring over that call at first base. They do not have replay that they can look at. The crew chief explaining the call and the agreement, apparently, of the umpires. Because if they had gone to South Carolina State head coach and said we're overturning it, and they wouldn't be talking anymore. Nakia Hall getting the explanation. So that's 2 calls at first base, one each team, with which the head coaches didn't agree. And they were close plays. Umpires giving her a lot of latitude, but it appeared to be a civil conversation, not confrontational, and that's why they let it go as long as they did. However, with the weather here today, they might want to speed things up a little bit so that they can get all of this game in. So Zaylen Harding steps in, ready to play. 1 down and a runner on first base. Home plate umpire calling time there. Now ready to play. The pitch taken for a strike. Harding, the left-handed batter. Catcher. And she's ready for the next pitch. Outside pitch, swung and knocked it out of play on third base side to make the count 0-2. Now Harding down in the count. Outside pitch for a ball. Martin, not too much of a threat to run here for Delaware State. Has just 1 stolen base attempt that was successful on the season. Now the count goes to 2-0 to Harding. Oh, Harding took the count from 0-2 to even it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swings up in the air, in the infield. First baseman comes in, so does the third baseman, and the catch made by the third baseman for the second out of the inning. And the infield fly rule was in effect there with a runner on first and just 1 out. So the batter was automatically out. Fourth batter of the inning for Delaware State, Michonne King. The left fielder.
Number 14, Michonne King.
King hoping to keep this inning alive now. Swing and a miss on first pitch right down the middle. Had a little bit of a drop to it. King back in at the batter's box. Outside, ball one. Home plate umpire calling time there as home plate completely obscured as the catcher came up to make that catch. Couldn't even see home plate from our vantage point, and we're not that far away. It was covered completely with infield dirt. That pitch outside, and that's going to allow Martin to advance to second base on what would be a passed ball. That catcher, even though the pitch was a little bit off, that was a catchable ball off the catcher's glove. The umpire puts a fresh ball into play here. King back in with the 2-1 count. Harris checking the wristband there. That one catching the outside corner for the second strike. King set, pitcher set. The 2-2 pitch with 2 out. Swing and a miss, and that will end the inning for Delaware State as they're unable to put anybody across. They did get a base hit and get a runner into scoring position. After 2, it's Delaware State 1, South Carolina State 0 on the Hornets Television Network.
Hoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com.
Bulldogs will send the top of the order to the plate here in the top of the third, and Maria Charlie takes the first pitch and sends it out to center field for a single to start off this third inning. I want to welcome our viewers on YouTube here today on the Hornets Television Network to this third game of the final series with South Carolina State on the season. Lashea Morlew, who grounded out in the first inning, takes a ball high for this at-bat. Morlew came into this series before yesterday's games with a .407 batting average. Fouls this one off, out of play on the first base side to even up the count at 1-1. Morlew, bunt attempt. Fouls it back into the catcher's glove for the second strike. Morlew in the hole now, 1-2 count. Trying to get Charlie down to second base. Inside, ball 2. Swing and a miss. Good strikeout for Kristen White. Her third strikeout of the game after 10 yesterday in her 2-0 shutout win.
Number 29, Dallas Hill.
Swing and a miss to the next batter, Dallas Hill. Hill steps in. White delivers. Fouled back out of play. Kristen White gets ahead in the count here, 0-2. There's our view from this press box here at Delaware State. You're seeing what we see. Now from center field. Swing and a miss, a 3-pitch strikeout by White. So the Bulldogs get the first runner on base, but then 2 strikeouts in a row brings us to Michaela Chisholm at the plate, who got on board in the second inning, got all the way around, and then on a force play, as she was the runner at third, was out at the plate, and that stopped the scoring attempt by South Carolina State in the second inning. First pitch into Chisholm was a ball. Swing and a miss by Chisholm. Chisholm, coming into yesterday's action, has struck out 8 times on the season. Takes that one for a second pitch. 1-2 count to Chisholm. Kristen White would like nothing better here to strike out the side after that first base hit. That one's fouled off, back behind the press box and out of play. The first baseman Chisholm back into the batter's box. Again, fouls one off the screen. They exchanged the ball because when it comes down, it comes into that grass, which is wet. And so the umpire delivers a dry ball to the catcher. Not too much of a problem when the ball hits the dirt because it's a dirt infield the whole way. This one popped up. Foul territory. Third baseman over and makes the catch in front of the dugout, and the Hornets are out of the inning. No damage done by the leadoff base hit for South Carolina State. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Delaware State up by 1 on the Hornets Television Network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com.
Play resumed here at Delaware State University as Annalise Santana came up, bunted right back to the pitcher, a 1-3 putout for the first out. Rain getting a little bit heavier here at Delaware State University. We expected rain this afternoon. They've now extended the time. As the game started, they were saying it could end around 2. Now they're saying at around 3 o'clock, and heavier rain showing up on the radar. So they're trying to get as much of this game in as quickly as they can to try to make it a complete game. There's no place in the schedule left for a makeup of a rainout or a game that has to be stopped because of rain. First pitch was outside for a ball. That one low for ball 2. Destiny Mitchell, the Hornets' leadoff batter, took a walk in the first inning, and the danger with putting her on board with a free pass is she comes around and scores, and that's the run in the game. Pitch in there, called strike. Looked like it might be a bit low, the delayed call by the plate umpire. Mitchell waiting for the 2-1 pitch. Takes one outside, pops it down the third base side. It is out of play. Foul ball evens the count for Mitchell at 2-2. Again, for Mitchell, she's not a pull hitter. Outfielders are straight away. Pops this one up. Shortstop going back. Left fielder coming in, and it's the left fielder who catches the fly ball for the second out of the inning. Carly Kane sacrificed in the first inning to move Mitchell up to second base.
Number 99, Carly Kane.
Kane will step in, see if she can get a hit here in the third for Delaware State. Pitch high for ball 1. Kane hitting .276 as the two teams entered play yesterday. And pitch low for ball 2. Carly Kane wearing that unusually high number for any player, 99. Local product from Lake Forest High School just down the road here from Dover, Delaware. Takes the next pitch for a called strike. She was on the 2025 MEAC All-Tournament team last year and was an academic All-MEAC selection. Pitch just a bit too low. Makes the count 3-1 to Kane. The pitcher Zayna Harris checks the wristband, delivers to Kane, showed bunt, pulled it back, and takes the called strike to make it a full count. Hits this one out to right field. The right fielder gets under it. That one sailed a little bit away from her, but she managed to pull it down for the out. The Hornets go 1-2-3 in this inning. So after 3, it's Delaware State 1, South Carolina State 0 on the Hornets Television Network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for.
Top of the 4th here as Eleni Yarnell takes the first pitch, hits it foul down to the left field. Yarnell singled in the second inning, one of 3 hits in a row that loaded the bases for South Carolina State. And then great pitching by Kristen White got her out of the jam as she struck out 2 of the batters that came up next. Second pitch comes in and a called strike on Yarnell. Left-handed batter. Umpire had a good view of that inside pitch as he had set up over the catcher's right shoulder. Time called, requested by Yarnell. Umpire called it, gave her a moment, and then called her back to the batter's box. 0-2 pitch, high, ball 1. South Carolina State, a singing team. They like to sing in the dugout. And you hear some kind of tub thumping in there also as they keep the rhythm. That ball fouled back. You're either thumping on a tub of some kind in there or there's a construction crew working in that dugout. I'm going to go with the tub. You won't hear that while the South Carolina State pitcher is on the mound. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yarnell goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 4 here for Kristen White today.
Number 34,
Kari
Kari Munyon.
Munyon, who also singled in the second inning, but was unable to get past second base. Rain coming down a little bit harder as the wind picks up, coming just about out of center field. Munyon, first pitch in, a strike to her. And you can hear that wind blowing directly into our microphone hanging out the window of the press box here. Swung on, taken by the third baseman, over to first, and dropped by the first baseman. That's going to be an error on 3, as the throw was there in time, but the first baseman dropped the throw. So the error goes to Delaware State's Chandler Martin, allowing the runner, Ariana Bonilla, who came up with bases loaded in the second, struck out swinging. She gets her second at bat. Outside, a bit low. Bonilla would like to get a hit here to advance the batter. Swing, foul ball, first base side, right fielder over, but it's out of play. Again, you get our bird's eye view. There's White. And the pitch comes in a bit high. Takes the count to 2-1 on Bonilla. Bonilla, after taking practice swings, likes to turn that bat around and rub the heel of it in the dirt and then smack her cleat as she comes back into the batter's box. Ball got away from the catcher. No play, no run, as it was low, and it's a 3-1 count. The ball came back into the grass. They'll put a dry ball back into play. You can hear every gust of wind that comes along here. Bunt by Bonilla. To first for the out. Down to second goes the runner, Munyon. That's a 1-3 put out that advances Munyon to second. Alyssa Stanford, who was out on a fielder's choice in the second. Now with 2 down and a runner in scoring position. High for a ball. Kristen White had fantastic control yesterday. Little bit of trouble on some of her pitches here today. Has 4 strikeouts. That pitch a called strike. Count even, 1-1. 2 out in the top of the 4th. Delaware State leading by 1. Only run of the game. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Swing and a miss, and that retires the side. Another strikeout, number 5 for Kristen White. And for Delaware State now 18 consecutive innings without letting South Carolina State get a run. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Delaware State 1, South Carolina State nothing on the Hornets Television Network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAT tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com.
In here in the bottom of the fourth to Miana Lopez outside for a ball. Lopez in the first inning got all the way around, but then was called out at the plate on a first to catcher throw, and the slide way the ball delivered way ahead of the batter or the runner. Called strike, even up the count, 1-1. And called strike 2. Pitchers getting the outside corner all weekend. Catcher set up outside and got it there for ball 2. Catcher set up behind the left-handed batter's box. 2-2 pitch. Fouled. Out of play. First base side. Lopez keeps it alive. Lopez homered. 2-run shot in the first inning of the first game yesterday, and that's how it ended. No scoring after that. This one hit sharply to third. Long throw to first. Good stretch by the first baseman to pull it in, and it's a 5-3 putout. One down brings up Kaylani Rodriguez. Rodriguez picking up her third shutout of the season yesterday in the second game as the pitcher, and her 6th win of the season. Rodriguez hitting .280 on the season. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Zayna Harris getting back in control after a little bit of trouble in the first inning. Delivers that one outside, 1-1 count. Nevaeh Terrell is on deck. Rodriguez at the plate. Takes that one. 4 strike 2. As Harris able to paint that outside corner. Popped to right field. Under it, and the catch made. Got some contact with the ball, but put it right out where the right fielder was playing. She only had to take a step to her left to get under it. That'll bring up Nevaeh Terrell as South Carolina State hoping to do what they did in the third, and that was to put down the Hornets in 1-2-3 order. Terrell pulled back the bunt. Ball 1. She bunted to the pitcher for the out in her only other time up back in the second inning. Outside, ball 2. After today, Delaware State with a 3-game road trip next Saturday and Sunday to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and that will do it for this regular season. MEAC tournament begins May 6th down in Norfolk. That one came inside on Terrell. She bunted it foul. Got jammed on it. And on a cool day like this, she came back blowing on her hands. That had to sting a bit. Anytime you get that narrow end of the bat, it will vibrate in your hands a bit. Swing and line directly to the shortstop. And that is a 1-2-3 innings, second inning row for the Hornets. Unable to get anybody on board. We'll go to the top of the fifth. Delaware State 1, South Carolina State nothing on the Hornets television network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you...
Top of the fifth at Delaware State University. As you see, the weather keeping the crowds away. Bunt picked up. Throw to first, not in time. For Delaware State, the first baseman came in to field that bunt. Second baseman covering. And I think what Delaware State's head coach is going to look at here is whether or not there was interference by the batter as she ran down the first baseline. Of course, they have those lines down there, and runners down the first baseline are supposed to be between the two parallel lines, one in foul territory and one the foul line. That conversation quickly over. Lanasia Sanders starts the inning with a single. That's the sixth hit allowed by Kristen White. There's a bunt picked up. Throw to first. They get the out at first. The lead runner, though, gets to second base. Sanders at second. So the sacrifice by Jamaria Charlie advances the runner. One out. And a runner in scoring position again for South Carolina State. They haven't been able to get those runners across. First pitch in to Lashea Morlou is outside for a ball. Kristen White came into the weekend leading the MEAC with 81 strikeouts. She picked up 10 more yesterday, so that's probably going to keep her on top. She delivers strike one. She was tied for second in the MEAC with 6 complete games. Now she has 7 on the season. Right down the middle. Strike two. And that win yesterday improved White's record to 6-7 on the season. She's hoping to hold on to this lead here and pick up win number 7 on the team this season and get to 500. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the runner took off for third and got in safely. But that's a big strikeout, number 6 for Kristen White on the afternoon. She struck out Morlew twice now in the game. Dallas Hill, who struck out in the third, trying to get that run in and tie the game. A little bit low, ball 1. As Lashea Sanders stands on third base. But 2 out. Hit to the left. Over the left fielder's head, off the fence. 1 run will score. The game is tied, and pulling in with a stand-up double is Dallas Hill. And she gets the RBI and breaks that scoreless streak of 18 innings by Delaware State on South Carolina State. First run given up. In 11 2/3 innings by Kristen White against South Carolina State this weekend. Michaela Chisholm is scheduled to bat here. We may be seeing somebody else. No, it's Chisholm who will come into the plate. We're going to see a runner for South Carolina State. It will be Madison Boyes who will come in to run for Dallas Hill. Madison Boyd to run here in the 5th.
Now batting number 6, Michaela Chisholm.
Chisholm singled in the 2nd inning. Popped out to the third baseman in the 3rd. Low pitch inside. Not a chance for Boyd to advance to 3rd. So the Bulldogs tie the game here in the 5th. Still have a runner in scoring position. Fouled back. 1-1. The fielder, Michon King, didn't get a good read on that ball, but it was hit right on the fence. She was not able to get back on that fly ball. Inside. Ball 2. Pitcher wants a different ball here. As the rain continues here on the softball field at Delaware State University. Tucked away here on campus. Field in really good shape. Check swing. The appeal down to third base, and they call the strike. Evens the count, 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Two down, runner on second, full count to Michaela Chisholm. Outside and low, ball 4. Chisholm draws the base on balls. Now runners at first and second for the Bulldogs as they try to rally here. This inning tied the score.
Number 8,
Eleni Yarnell, left-handed batter, steps in. right down the middle, but a little bit high. Ball one. Once again, pitcher wants a dry ball. I think we need windshield wipers here on the press box windows. Yeah, just back and forth. Dallas, why don't you run out there and squeegee them? Oh, she says no. Outside and high, ball two. Kristen White went 7 innings yesterday with 10 strikeouts against South Carolina State. Allowed 2 hits and no runs. Might be tiring a little bit here in the 5th. She's thrown many more pitches than she did in that 7-inning game yesterday. Catches the inside corner here to make it 2-1 on Yarnell. Yarnell has singled and struck out. Fly ball to right. Foul territory. Under it. Caught for the 3rd out. And the Hornets give up a run for the first time this weekend as the score becomes South Carolina State 1, Delaware State 1 on the Hornets television network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MEACHoops.com.
Delaware State will send Chandler Martin, Zaylin Harding, and Michon King to the plate here, anticipated here in the bottom of the 5th. Martin takes first pitch high for a ball one. Delaware State blanked the Bulldogs 18 innings before they got a run on this weekend homestand. Outside, ball two. Second time to the plate for Martin in this game. She singled in the 2nd inning. Got to second base on a passed ball. Now she has ahead in the count 3-0. Pitcher Zana Harris has had to work against this Delaware State team today, but has held them to just the lone run in the 1st. Outside and high, 4-pitch walk to Chandler Martin. Zaylin Harding steps up to the plate for the Hornets. Harding popped out to 3rd. We'll have a substitute runner coming in for Delaware State. It's going to be number 5, Yaneli Sosa, to run for Chandler Martin. So Martin gives way to the pinch runner.
Hornets, number 5, Yaneli Sosa. Now batting, number 31, Zaylin Harding.
The runner, Sosa, has not scored any runs. Yes, she has. 6 runs this season. Hornets hoping to make it number 7 for her as Harding fouls off the first pitch. Rain falling steadily here at the stadium. Harding 0-1 pitch. High. She had to duck. That one sailed over her head for the ball. Harding, who stands just 5'3" from Fort Collins, Colorado, can be glad that she's of smaller stature on that one. That pitch called a ball. 2-1 count. Runner on first. There's an outside pitch. Make it ball 3. Pitcher Zayna Harris opened the inning, walking Chandler Martin on 4 consecutive pitches. Now she down on a 3-1 count to Zayling Harding. Harding shows bunt, takes the called strike, count is full. Harding coming into this series, a .213 hitter for the season. Wants to advance the runner some way. Full count. Outside and low, ball 4. 2 consecutive walks now for Harris. Two walks in a row after Harris gave up only 1 walk in the previous innings. That a leadoff walk for the game by Destiny Mitchell. So Mishan King will step in with runners on first and second and none down. Infield, the first baseman and the third baseman in. Looking for the bunt attempt. That's ball 1 to King. She'll try to advance at least the runner to third. Bunts that one foul. 1-1. Sosa down at second with a straight line to third. Gets herself set up as if she's a sprinter in the running blocks and has that left foot against the third base side of second base to get a little bit of a push to get going. Bunted, third base side, past the third baseman. Everybody's going to be safe. Beautifully placed bunt that got past the third baseman, who was in and rolled to the shortstop, and by that time, no play available. King with a terrific bunt to load up the bases. Annalise Santana was 0 for 1 in the game. Now we're going to have a new pitcher for South Carolina State, as they will put Aubrey Dent on the mound. So the line on Zayna Harris is 4 complete. Aubrey Dent to come in and try to get the Bulldogs out of trouble here. They had tied the game in the top of the 5th. But now, Delaware State with none out and bases loaded with the potential to take the lead. Aubrey Dent on the season, a 4.94 ERA. has pitched 39 and 2/3 of an inning, has allowed 44 hits, 34 runs with an ERA, earned runs, 28 of the 34 runs allowed. She's walked 29, struck out 16, 5 wild pitches, hit 1 player. She has a 3-2 record with 1 save, 14 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 home runs off of Dent. The line on Harris, she goes 4 complete. My initial count, 6 base hits given up by Delaware State, 1 run. Walked 3. With 4 strikeouts. So we come to the bottom of the order for Delaware State with bases loaded, none out, and Elise Santana. Santana swings at the first pitch, flies to right field, and everybody stays where they are. The pitch, the throw in over the head of the cutoff man. And you have to kind of wonder if they had sent the runner from third and that cutoff, that throw from right field not being a good one, had that run been able to score. Top of the order, Destiny Mitchell. Walked in the first, flew out to left in the second inning, went opposite field. Mitchell with 2 RBI on the season as this series started yesterday. Would like to pick up the RBI here. Pitch was outside for a ball. Whoop. Called strike. Delayed call by the umpire. Mitchell takes that one outside. Ball 1. Didn't even think of offering at that one. Carly Kane on deck. Kane hopping up and down on deck, alternating feet as she tries to stay warm. Another outside pitch for ball 2. Mitchell sets in the batter's box. The pitch from Dent. Swung and past the shortstop. That'll get 1 in. Coming around third, holding up at third as they throw all the way to the plate from left center field, but an RBI single for Destiny Mitchell. And the Hornets get the lead back. As Yaneli Sosa scored the run on the RBI by Mitchell. Carly Kane now with a chance to bring in another one. Get some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Shortstop was playing in a little bit, but that was a sharply hit ball that went right by her. That ball past the catcher. Wild pitch, scores a run. As on the wild pitch, Zaylin Harding comes in and scores. That was the first pitch of that at-bat for Carly Kane. It's a 1-0 count. And on the wild pitch, Mitchell took second. There's a bunt foul. Michon King standing on third. Destiny Mitchell at second after the wild pitch. Hornets taking advantage of the miscue by South Carolina State. Tied the game on a single, but then the wild pitch allowed the second run of this inning to score. Sharply hit to short. Throw to first. A run will score, and the throw to third base, safe there, is Destiny Mitchell. Michon King scores on the fielder's choice. Carly Kane out at first, but she gets the RBI as King scores the fourth run of the game for Delaware State. Third of this inning.
Number 13, Miana Lopez Delgado.
Miana Lopez looking for a hit here. Grounded to third in the fourth inning, as the Hornets have sent 6 batters to the plate. That pitch outside and high. Ball 1. Delaware State finding their bats here in the bottom of the 5th after South Carolina State tied the game in the top of the 5th. Outside and high, ball 2. Miana Lopez has family in from California to see today's game. Well, sorry that we couldn't give you more California-type weather here this afternoon. There's a high pitch off the catcher's glove, outside and high, and another run will score. Destiny Mitchell comes in from third to score her second run of the game, and Delaware State goes up now 5-1 on the Bulldogs. And still 2 out. Lopez with a 3-0 count. Lopez from Whittier, California, the senior. Lopez Del Haro, the full name. From Whittier High School, the Cardinals, out there in California. Here to see the family, here to see her in her last homestand at Delaware State as she is a senior. Lopez takes one down the middle for strike 1. On the 3-0 count, she was definitely on the take there. Bases empty now. The Hornets scored everybody who got on. A little bit of a change-up. Missed the outside corner and a walk for Lopez. Here in the bottom of the 5th, Aubrey Dent came in the 5th inning here with no outs and runners on base for Delaware State. Now with 2 down, Hornets still batting. First pitch just a bit high to Kaylani Rodriguez. 8th batter of the inning for Delaware State. Rodriguez. A base hit past the shortstop into center field, bobbled by the center fielder, and now a play at third base on Lopez, who had stolen second unchallenged. She goes to third on the base hit by Rodriguez. Hornets have runners at the corners. Nevaeh Terrell, the 9th Hornet to come to the plate in this inning. 0 for 2 in the game. Like a base hit here to get the RBI and get run number 6 in here. Delaware State put 5 up on the board in Game 2 yesterday against South Carolina State. Won that one 5-0 after the 2-0 win in the first game.
Number 9, Nevaeh Terrell.
Hornets are going to bring in a runner here.
Sophia Watson, 3, is going in for 42.
Sophia Watson will come in to run for Kaylani Rodriguez. Sophia Watson to run here in the 5th for Rodriguez. She goes to first base. Hornets with runners at the corners. 2 down. It's been a big inning. 4 runs here in the 4th for Delaware State.
Coming onto the bases to run for the Hornets.
Opportunity maybe to put up a 5th run in this inning. If Nevaeh Terrell can deliver with the runner on third. Lopez took off on the hit and slid into third above the tag. A pitch high. Lopez dancing down the third baseline. Couldn't draw a throw.
She's 18 and 30. Sophia's out.
What did she do? She left the bag early?
No, she didn't leave the bag early. So you know how when the pitcher has the ball on the mound, she's not allowed to hesitate back to the base. She has to go. She stopped in the middle.
Okay, umpires are calling an end to the inning, and that is because Lopez was after the pitch. When the pitcher was on the mound with the ball, Lopez is supposed to go straight back to the base. She didn't, dancing around trying to draw a throw over to third, and that was the automatic out. So that ends the inning with the 3rd out. The Hornets will come up with Rodriguez at the plate in the 6th because she did not complete her at-bat. Check that, Terrell will come up in the 6th, not completing her at-bat.
Excuse us.
Brianna 42.
After 5, it's Delaware State 4, South Carolina State 1 on the Hornet television.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what
We're in the top of the 6th here in Dover, Delaware. Corey Munyon at the plate has taken the first 2 pitches for a ball. Between innings, musical selection played was It's Raining Men. Well, not raining men, it's raining water here. And that's a 3-0 count. But a great selection, very creative. Kudos. Hornets scored 4 in the 5th inning, and we'll explain that call that ended the 5th inning after this pitch, as it was a technical call and the out against Delaware State. Count goes to 3-1. What happened was Sosa, the runner who was on first, did not go back directly to the base when the pitcher had the ball on the mound. There's a ball hit to center field, over and caught. A snowball catch at the top of that ball, sticking out of the glove of Destiny Mitchell as she went all the way to the fence to pull that one in. And a little bit of the ball showing after that, but it's still a out. A well-hit ball by Munyon. Mitchell was able to pull that one in. Right now, we don't seem to have the wind blowing that we had earlier, but still raining lightly. Ariana Bonilla, 0 for 2 on the game, struck out first time up and bunted back to the pitcher the second time, fouls off the first pitch right on the first base side. Out of play. Fouls this one back off the screen. 0-2 to Bonilla. You see what we see as we call this game. See the umpire set up over that left shoulder of the catcher for the right-handed batter. Swing and a miss. 2 down on the inning as Bonilla becomes the strikeout victim also. That's number 7 this afternoon for Kristen White after striking out 10 yesterday. And as I said earlier about Kristen White, she came into the game yesterday with 981 strikeouts on the season to lead the conference. The 10 strikeouts yesterday probably didn't slow her down any. That one bunted. The catcher gets it over to first for the out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Kristen White. As we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Delaware State up 5-1 on South Carolina State on the Hornets Television Network.
You've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com.
Nevaeh Terrell stands in at the plate. She was batting when that third out was called by the umpires last inning, and Terrell, missing the bunt attempt, gets called for strike one. Terrell 0 for 2 in the game. Looked at that one, thought about offering, a little bit high, let it go, and it's ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. Bunt, foul. Came off the bottom of her bat, went down behind, all the way to the backstop to make it a 1-2 count on Terrell. Terrell from Pennsauken, New Jersey. She's a senior, back on March 15th, had a great game, hit 2 triples against Norfolk State. Only 3 players in the MEAC have done that, tripled 2 times in a game, and Terrell one of them. Up high, ball 2. Terrell, one of those players on the Delaware State roster who have a bit of speed to them too. At 5'3", she can motor around, plays either of the 2 positions in the middle infield, shortstop or second base. Grounds that one slowly to third. They have to come in, the throw to first, and it looks like the umpire is going to say that the first baseman stretching for the ball, her foot came off of the base because she dug the ball out of the dirt. That'll be a single for Nevaeh Terrell, her first hit of the game.
Number 40, Chandler Martin.
So Chandler Martin, who started it off for Delaware State in the last inning with a base on balls, gave way to a pinch runner. That one hit to second. Over to the shortstop covering. They get the force at second, but the runner at first is safe. On the fielder's choice. You may have a new hitter coming in for Delaware State here. It's going to be Jalen Slater, who will hit for Harding. Slater, another Delaware player on this roster for the Hornets, out of Cape Henlopen High School. The Vikings from Lewis. She's 5'3", sophomore. She can do some catching too. She came in the game yesterday to replace Harding behind the plate. Tough on a catcher to catch 2 ends of a doubleheader. Harding caught for about the first 5 innings, and then Slater came in to catch for the final 2. She'll take the first pitch for a strike. In the major leagues, you hear of catchers catching on Saturday night, and then with a Sunday afternoon game, they don't catch. Here was Harding coming in after catching about 12 innings yesterday and started today at the plate. Next pitch for a ball, 1-1. Harding going to get a rest for those knees and calf muscles. Swung and fouled down in the dirt. Aubrey Dent, who came in the 5th with a 1-2 count now. Outside, ball 2.
You could be the first spring sport, not the first sport though. I mean, he did beat South Carolina State for the first time in school history.
The pitch to Slater. Swung and hit sharply at the shortstop. They'll go to second for 1 and over to first for the double play, a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning, the first double play of the weekend. We go to the top of the 7th, to the final frame here, with Delaware State leading 5-1 on the Hornets Television Network.
This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAC tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you've all been waiting for. The MEAT tournament is back. The talent, the intensity, the rivalry, all fighting to rise to the top. Experience every exciting moment, all in one place. March 11th through the 14th at the Norfolk Scope Arena. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster and MeAtHoops.com. This is what you...
Final inning here for South Carolina State to try to get something going here on Delaware State. And they'll start off by sending in a pinch hitter, Kylie Nelson, to hit for Lanesha Sanders. She'll take the first pitch for a strike. Kristen White trying to get another complete game. Throws strike 2 past Nelson. Nelson now steps back into the batter's box with an 0-2 count. Hit to the shortstop. Up quickly. Throw to first. And it is 1 out here in the 7th inning. Top of the order, Jamaria Charlie.
Top of the lineup for the SC State Bulldogs.
Who is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice ground ball in the 5th. Flew out to center in the 1st, singled in the 3rd. This one past the first baseman for a base hit. So a 2-hit day for Jamaria Charlie here. Shea Morlew, who has struck out twice and grounded out once in this game. Comes up with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Kristen White wants to hold on here for the complete game for her 7th win of the season to get her at 500. First pitch is a ball. Through 7 complete yesterday, allowed 2 hits, had 10 strikeouts in that game. Has 7 Ks this afternoon. Throws a strike right there to make it 1-1. Bunted. Pitcher takes it. Throw to first, not in time. And that'll be a bunt single for Morlew. Perfectly placed.
Number 29, Dallas Hill.
Dallas Hill, who doubled in the 5th to get that scoring going in the 5th inning for South Carolina State, their only run of the weekend. That one inside and low. Hill had to step back out of the way of that one. Harding was batted for in the bottom of the 6th, but stays in at catcher. Inside and low, but high enough to be called strike. 1-1 count on Hill. Chance to get a run across here with runners on first and second. The Bulldogs all weekend have had opportunities with runners in scoring position and unable to get them across. The appeal to third base on the check swing is a ball to Dallas Hill. She did not come around far enough, according to the third base umpire. So a 2-1 count with 1 down here. That pitch low for ball 3.
I know she been. She pitched all. At this point, she's pitched.
The catcher going out to talk to the pitcher, Harding. A few words for Kristen White. Some of the other infielders started to come in, and Harding kind of motioned them away, that what she wanted to say to White was not any infield strategy, just some encouragement to throw strikes here and get the inning over with and the ball game over with. Last chance here for South Carolina State in this inning. Popped up all the way to center field, comes over, gave way to the left fielder. The runners tag and advance to second and third on the catch in the outfield. It looked like the center fielder was underneath of it, but struggling a little bit finding the ball. The right fielder came over, called her off, and just a foot and a half apart from each other made the catch while she was crouching. The ball almost got to the ground. Now 2 down, runners on second and third. High pitch outside as Michaela Chisholm comes to the plate.
She should be 150. Well, some of those aren't here.
Chisholm trying to keep this game alive for the Bulldogs. 2 out in the 7th. Down low in the dirt, ball 2. Kristen White struggling a little bit here in the 7th inning. Just has to get this out. Now gets encouraged by her teammate Miani Lopez Del Haro. And the manager, head coach Daniel Stockdale, going to the mound to talk to White. Pretty sure he's not really happy about the prospect of taking her out at this point. Just wants to have her bear down and work through this. Didn't like those last 2 pitches. White trying to concentrate and get out number 3 here and have this one over with. For the 2-0 count. White's pitch is a called strike. She managed to paint that outside corner again. Takes the count to 2-1.
So it's like based on. It's like ERA or something. Yeah, based on whatever. That makes more sense.
White delivers.
What is it for hitting?
Too low inside. Takes the count to 3-1. Hornets bearing down here. Grounded foul. And that looks like a batter there. Might have come off of her foot. Chisholm went down in the dirt. She's up now, but
That's what I'm saying. Her run record might be off.
so they're going to let Chisholm work that off a little bit.
On our website?
Head coach Nakia Hall for South Carolina State looked toward the dugout.
We need to have a talkie talk.
That's the third base coach over there,
Because her win-loss record's wrong on there, but
Raquel Miller. Chisholm ready to step back in. Runners will be going on the pitch here. 3-2, 2 out. Popped up. First, second baseman calls for it and makes the catch, and the game is over. Delaware State with a 3-game sweep of South Carolina State to make it 13 in a row here now on the season, and a season-ending series next week in Princess Anne against University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
5, South Carolina State.
2 complete game shutout, 2 complete games here on the weekend for Delaware State's Kristen White.
I'm listening. Can I have South Carolina first?
She goes to 7-7 on the season with today's win and came just one shy of her seventh complete game or seventh shutout of the season. But she gets the win, and that's what counts for the Hornets, as they now have a 2-game lead on South Carolina State for second place in the MEAC standings. Next week's series at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore will finish the season for the Hornets.
Dallas, somebody take that mic away. Please take it away from Dallas.
So the final score here at Dover, Delaware State 5, South Carolina State nothing. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. I'm Gary Lang on the Hornets Television Network.